Um, Hi, hello. This is Shruti Apte from ATRC. And today we have with us Shruti Ishwaran. Shruti is basically going to tell us about Bach Flower Remedy. She was basically into corporate world for 25 years. And then she got introduced to Bach Flower sometime in 2009. And she probably thought that, being into the corporate is not so it's quite exhausting, and she did a change in her career also. So she's now totally into bachelor, and I have also learned my bachelor from Shruti, and it has been very very effective. This journey of pranic healing and bachelor works amazing, so I thought let's get Shruti to talk a little bit about bachelor. So yes, Shruti, my first question to you is, can you just tell me how bachelor therapy works?
So see, Bach Flower Remedies, they are basically the energetic imprint of the flower, which is captured in a bottle and distilled and stored. That
Okay,
is what it is. There is no, and it is all flowers that have just grown in nature by the wayside. There is no cultivation, or they're not planted or something like that. It is
right.
all wild flowers. So what they do is, there are two methods. It's a system of 38 flower remedies, of
Okay,
which one is water, which is pure spring water. The other 37 are wild flowers and barks of trees found in and around Mount Vernon near London,
okay,
in England.
right,
Now, all these, because London has a kind of cold climate most throughout the year, but
right,
whenever the summer is there are two ways they take the energetic imprint of the flower. They put it in water, they put the flower and the twigs in water and leave it in the sun for 3 to 4 hours.
right,
And then the flowers are removed and the water is distilled, and about 1 to 2 teaspoons of brandy or some alcohol is put into it as a preservative.
right,
When it's very cold and there's no sun, what they do is they boil water and then they put the flowers into it and keep it for 30 to 40 minutes. And again, the same process is followed.
right. Okay,
The,
okay,
the person who discovered these flowers himself was an MD doctor, Dr. Edward Bach,
right,
and he believed that a cure to all of human diseases will be found in nature. And
right,
unless we treat the root cause of what a person is going through or what is causing his dis-ease,
right,
we will only be able to give people symptomatic relief,
right, right.
and the disease will recur. So what
Hmm.
he did was he experienced each and every emotion himself. He gave up his practice and moved to the outskirts of the city
Right,
and found these flowers in nature, experienced each emotion himself, and
right,
just in a span of 7 years, he discovered the 39 flowers, and that's where he said, "This is it." And it
right.
gives you a possible combination of 2.9 million combinations of just 38 remedies.
Oh, okay. So the research was very exhaustive. That means Shruti, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
very, very exhaustive and very personally experienced.
right,
And it is these flowers, because they are found in nature by the wayside, it's all part of our cosmic consciousness and our soul journey. So
right.
it heals you at the root cause.
Root cause,
And
yeah,
yes, and it does, this is one of the only system of or a modality which says that any emotional imbalance in your system leads to a physical manifestation of disease.
right, right. Even my next question to you was that actually, that we believe that a disease is first psychological and then it becomes physicalized. So I believe batch flower is also, also works on the same principle, right?
Yes, totally. It works on the auric body, your what is referred to as the manomaya kosha, actually
Right,
in yoga,
right,
where we believe that whenever there is any unaddressed emotion in your body, it could be anything.
Right.
Like on an umbrella level, we can say anger, grief, sadness, joy, everything. But
Right.
any emotion that is unresolved in your system will always manifest in a physical form.
Right. Right.
And then that is when the human is forced to address the emotion,
Right.
because there
Right.
is, it manifests mainly as pain or discomfort or dis-ease.
Right.
When
Right.
you're not at ease, that is how the word disease also has
So
come
has
up.
come. Right.
When
Right.
the
Right.
body is not at ease.
Yeah. Right.
So that
Okay.
is how it works. And
So
it addresses all
yeah,
these emotions and balances them, whereby which your physical ailment in itself reduces and you start
reduces.
feeling better.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So see, in because of this pandemic COVID thing, see, fear, we have a lot of people who say that post COVID, the symptoms that they get is fear or irritability and anxiety. Do you think Bachelor will be helpful to them?
It has been very helpful, and
Okay.
especially even in post COVID fatigue, where the
Oh,
body is
right,
completely, yeah, depleted. It
right.
has worked in a lot of ways. It works even for people who are caregiving COVID patients. They are
Oh,
extremely overwhelmed, physically tired, and your energy gets very depleted because 24 by 7 you're on alert with these patients. You don't know when they will deteriorate for the worse. So
right,
you have to be constantly alert. Batch addresses that because your body is in a constant state of awareness. So it's bound to
right,
get tired, you're
right,
bound to be overwhelmed, you're bound to be scared that what if you get the disease.
right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so there are remedies for each of these in batch, where
Great.
it helps you cope with the caregivers can take remedies, the people who are scared that they will get I mean the disease can have the remedies. It
Right,
doesn't guarantee that you will not get the disease, but you
right.
will have the inner strength to cope with the situation as and when it arises.
Right, 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 right.
And
Okay.
also, we have a whole set of people who are experiencing different kinds of trauma and fear because they are losing people all of a
Right,
sudden.
right, right, right.
They are stepping out into a world where you don't know what it's going to be like every time you step out.
Yeah, right.
You have to be on the guard, on the alert all the
All the
time.
time. Yes. Right, right, right.
So all of this causes stress, and especially currently in the situation, I mean, as far as I know, there is everybody knows somebody or the other who has just moved on all of a
Yeah,
sudden
yeah.
without,
Right, right.
and that's a lot of trauma and grief, a
Hmm.
lot of things that are unsaid. Then, of course, comes the burden of all the paperwork. You may not be able to give even completion to your grief because you may not get a chance to go and see off your loved one,
Right, right, right.
and the media doesn't help. I mean,
Oh,
the
yeah.
media just makes
I know it.
makes it
Yeah,
worse.
it's really bad. Yeah. So my next question to you, Shruti, is the effect of bachelor seen as soon as possible? So if I take the medicine, will the effect
Mhm.
be seen as soon as possible, or it takes some time?
If it is the perfect remedy and you are able to express what you are feeling properly and you have a good therapist, probably even one dose makes a difference.
Oh, oh,
Even
okay,
the first
okay,
dose. And the good part about batches, depending on the intensity and severity of how what you are feeling, you can even take the remedies every 5 minutes till you start feeling better.
oh, okay, right,
And not only is it necessary that you ingest the remedy, even it is one remedy that can even be sprayed around the person. It is
right,
something that can be applied on pulse points,
right,
and that's exactly how the remedies work. So, for example, Dr. Batch himself did not make any combinations except for one, which he called the rescue remedy,
right,
which is an SOS. And just to give you a simple example, we have had somebody who was going into a cardiac arrest, and
okay,
during the first hour, which is considered the golden hour when they need medical attention,
right.
rescue remedy was administered to him every 5 minutes
Oh,
till he
okay,
reached the hospital, and he
wow.
recovered. He
Oh,
recovered.
okay,
The body could take the shock.
right, okay, okay. Uh, Shruti, I think we lost you at the point where you were talking about cardiac arrest. So can you just brief us about it again?
Yeah. So there was this gentleman who went into a cardiac arrest, and it took him a while to get to the hospital, what we
Okay,
refer to as the golden hour, in
right,
which medical attention is very necessary for cardiac patients.
right.
So his family was tuned into batch remedies, and they gave him rescue remedy every 5 minutes till they got to the hospital. And
Okay,
what would have been life threatening at that point in time
right,
kept him conscious till he got to the hospital and got medical attention.
right. Oh, okay, great, great. So it
So
can be
it
very
yes,
effective. That means the moment
yes,
you take it, right?
absolutely. Provided the person can explain how they are feeling at the
Ah,
moment. You
right.
have to get that bit right. So it
Yeah,
takes some bit of I mean, practice and therapy to which word you should hold on to.
right,
Being a good listener is the one of the most important things for a batch therapist, because you
oh,
have to catch the words
right,
and not interrupt the client. When he's saying something, just
right,
put in yes, no, or ask one or two questions.
right,
But overall, if you let them speak, actually, once you practice the remedies, you will see the patient is actually telling you what he or she needs
right. Absolutely.
very
Yeah,
openly. Like
yeah,
they'll say, I've just about had enough. I've only been looking after sick people all my life, which
right,
points to a remedy that the person is really exhausted and sees no way out of the situation.
right, right,
Or
right,
somebody who's very sick will say, I don't want to live anymore. It doesn't matter whether I'm there or not there.
right,
Or
right,
and basically we've seen that the remedies have seen a lot of us even through this pandemic, with all our responsibilities, because we as a society are so used to external help in our houses,
right,
that it was the first time we had to make do without maids, drivers, whoever we had.
right,
And
right,
people were really tired handling the whole process.
right.
So it gives you the strength, it gives you physical stamina.
Wow.
So all of it the remedies do.
So
And
it
the good
also
part,
works at the physical level, that means, Shruti,
yeah,
to some extent.
as your thoughts change and your emotions are addressed, the
Yeah,
physical problems reduce automatically,
right,
because
absolutely.
you're not feeling tired, you're able to go through with your day, you're not overwhelmed,
Right,
you're able
right,
to, you believe you're protected, there is divine intervention.
right,
And they are
right.
definitely remedies from the gods, I would really say, because I personally have experienced such wonderful miracles in my life throughout, with the remedies. So I
Right,
think, and only thing is you need the faith, and
right.
you need to keep at it for a little longer, because it is not like an allopathic pill that if you have a migraine, I give you pills and within one dose you'll be perfectly
Huh.
okay.
Right, right, right.
Uh, the willingness to heal also has to come from the person
Yes,
taking the
perfect.
remedy.
Yes,
Yeah,
right, right,
that's what we need to do.
right.
And it works across pets, plants, animals,
Hmm.
humans, everybody.
Everyone. Wow, great. Yeah,
Everyone with a soul, anyone with a soul.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
uh, actually, this while we are talking about batch, we had a few patients who said that I'm already on homeopathic pills, so should I take batch? So, what do you recommend?
What we were taught, though there are different schools of thought on this, there are some people who say that homeopathy also works on the mind, and
Yeah,
so does bat. So,
right,
depending on what the patient is going through, but I personally believe that because it's just a positive imprint, energetic imprint of a plant, it
right.
works beautifully if one keeps a gap of about 15 to 20 minutes with their homeopathy medicine,
Okay,
but
okay.
it complements any other modality. It in fact, from my experience, it complements homeopathy, Ayurveda, and any other. I
Hmm.
mean, whether it's an alternative healing method or allopathy. I
Right,
personally am on allopathy drugs for my issues,
right,
but that I
right,
have faced. And in the current scenario, I'm not able to go and see my doctor and change my dosages.
right.
But whether we've seen even patients on psychiatric medication, diabetic medication, as your issues are sorted and your levels normalize, or you go through a different mindset, your doses reduce and batch takes care of the rest of it. So it's a
Hmm.
wonderful support modality for any kind of ailment.
Right. Wow.
So, but
Yeah.
yes, there are homeopaths who say that, when they are dealing with something very chronic,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
don't want intervention of anything else, but that could be a one-off case. But
Right.
otherwise, it works with every other
Every
modality.
modality.
Yes. And
Yes.
there is no restriction on your food or any other medication or anything. In fact, we do not call ourselves doctors. We just
Right.
call ourselves healers and therapists.
Healers and therapists. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Right.
exactly
Right.
it.
Right. Right. Actually, my next question to you is: can you give me some information about these flowers? Now that you have talked about, these 38 plants, plant extracts. So, can you give some information, like if a person comes to me, and if you can just mix it up, with say, if I have a lot of fear and anxiety and stress. So, if I come to you, how is your approach? So, do you? I mean, how does the session happen?
Okay. So what happens is there's a full 45-minute consult that we do with the person. So
Right?
for example, you mentioned fear.
Huh.
Now it's not like any other modality where there is a strict prescription key. If this person is scared, give them this. We
Huh.
need to evaluate whether the fear is of a known kind, like the person is scared of corona,
Huh. Huh.
or so there's a different remedy for that. There is something called unknown fear. I
Right.
don't know what will happen in the future. I
Right.
don't know. A lot of people who've lost their jobs have told us that. How are my children going to study? How am I going to pay my EMIs? Now
Right.
these are not definitely named fears. He knows that something is not right. So
Right.
then there's another remedy for that. Then fear for losing your loved ones or something happening to your loved ones, there's a different remedy for that.
Right.
There's a
Okay.
different remedy when if there is fear and the memory of that fear is not getting out of your mind, there's a different remedy for that. Some
Okay.
people replay the images in their head. So
Right.
it's whatever mix you get is a very individual mix depending on the issue that you are facing at the moment.
Right.
So right
Okay.
now, if you call and say, I am just exhausted taking care of 6 members in my family who are ill and I have to attend to them with corona, or somebody at home is on oxygen, the room, the bedroom in the house has been converted into a temporary ICU and oxygen is being given. So I have to take care that, I have to take care of a lot of nitty gritties and ensure that
Right.
everything is clean, clear.
Right.
So that
Right.
is going to put a burden on your physical self.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Hmm.
have to, because you cannot afford even a simple slip up.
Right. Right.
And the media is also generating a lot of fear. What we see on screens is very depressing.
Depressing. Exactly.
It may be true. So some people are depressed, or it could be right now. There's this whole again set of clients that I have who are very angry with the authorities, with the
Right.
political
Well,
system. So
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
but so they are all like, the political system didn't anticipate this, all of it. But I keep telling them, I said, no country in the world is prepared for the whole population falling
Relation.
sick at the same time.
I know. I know. Absolutely.
even
Yeah.
even the developed countries are not prepared.
Right.
It
Absolutely.
has a
Yeah.
lot to do with it. And there are people, definitely we have our challenges. Today we are really blessed that we are not, running around for hospitals or
Right.
beds or
Right.
medicines. We are truly blessed. But I feel this is the time. Why don't you contribute in whatever little way you can? Just
Hmm.
pray for the people, na?
Yeah.
Just pray.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or there's
Yeah.
so many people who are giving food, somebody is arranging beds, somebody's just pick up the phone and talk to someone. We can
Exactly.
always
Exactly.
deal with the system once the crisis is over.
Right.
Focus your energy into where you can make a difference at this point in time.
Right. Absolutely.
That is
See,
something that will help,
yeah. So,
you know.
Shruti, in the meantime, see, even though we are healers or we are therapists, at some point
Hmm.
of time, I noticed that watching the news and social, everything which is there on the social media, even I had started getting a bit affected. So, for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I had stopped watching TV, television, because the news keeps on flashing. So many people dead. Now, the black fungus thing is coming up, and so many other things. The newspapers also highlight so many other things. So, and you know what? Not having seen the paper or watching news on social media really helped me obviously I have my set of practices, my set of things, but see, finally, even we are humans and we are individuals, so it's
Yes.
bound that we also get affected. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah. So yeah, you wanted to say something?
no, 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 no. I was
Yeah.
just waiting for you to complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next question to you is, how do you prescribe these? So do you give like pills, homeopathy pills, or would you give it in water format, or how do you go about it?
See, there are two ways of giving it. They are available in a liquid form at most homeopathy pharmacies all over the country. And
Okay.
Rescue Remedy, as well as online, they're available on sites like 1mg and Healthmark and all of that.
Right.
If if you're comfortable, a lot of people, a lot of my friends who have not studied the modality or know a little about it,
Yeah.
keep a kit at home and then they check with me, ki, what should I take? That is a
Okay.
possibility. So
Okay.
they make their
Right.
own mixes, you put it in water. But because of the alcohol and the weather that we live in
Right.
India, we give the remedies through homeopathy pills. World over,
Right.
they are administered via liquid. But
Right.
in India, we give it in homeopathy pills, and the homeopathy pills retain the vibrations, I mean, almost forever. But
Oh, okay.
still, to be on the safer side, the remedies have no expiry date, actually.
Oh, okay. Right.
But
Right.
it there is, I mean, all governments have their mandates, so they put 5 years, 10 years, stuff like that. But
Right.
till your pills turn nebulous or yellow, they retain the energetic imprint of the flowers that have been put into it, and they can be administered. And it's easier to courier and
Okay.
easy to carry around in our
Right.
country. You can always,
Right.
and they're stored in amber colored bottles.
Right.
So
Right.
amber bottles are the ones that are only the ones that do not let sunlight pass through completely, so it doesn't alter the balance or the vibrational pattern of the remedies that are inside.
Right, absolutely.
So
Shruti,
we
you
give
talk
them.
so nicely. I just keep, I just feel like, you just talk and for hours, and I just keep listening to you. Yeah.
No, so we give it orally. We give it orally, or you can mix
Okay.
it in water or
Okay.
dilute it and apply it on pulse points also. The
Oh,
pills melt
okay.
very easily and they are
Okay.
safe for diabetics. That's another very important thing. I have a lot of
Right.
clients telling me the homeopathy pills are sweet, but those are fructose based pills.
Right.
So they are safe even for diabetics and
Diabetes. Yeah.
everybody. The only place where we exercise caution
Hmm.
is from children from the age from 0 to 2, because
Okay.
they are still, it's basically till a child learns how to speak
Right.
and
Okay.
express himself.
Express himself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But even then, what parents have shown is that spraying it around a child works beautifully in keeping them calm when there are crackers or when they are not sleeping
Right.
or when they're colicky or something like that.
Right.
It can be taken safely by pregnant mothers,
Right.
but
Okay.
under the supervision of a therapist.
Right.
And
Okay.
the good part is they are non habit forming and non addictive. So, in the eventuality that your child or pet by mistake swallows a whole bottle of pills,
Right.
nothing is going to happen.
Cool.
Nothing is going to happen.
Right.
It just gets excreted from your system.
System. Oh, that's the best part of it, I believe.
Yes. And
Yeah.
all 38 remedies, as in emotional states that they are associated with,
Yeah.
exist in a human being when they are born. It is only what goes out of the you know, out of balance at a particular point
Right.
in time,
Right.
that needs to be addressed. And once that is balanced, you'll be back to your usual self.
So if I'm having some issue, and if that remedy is not for me, suppose the plant
Mm.
extract is not for me, it's not going to cause me any harm. It's just going to extract, sorry, excrete from my body, right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super. So do you think bachelor remedy and pranic healing could go hand in hand?
Oh, definitely, beautifully. Because even pranic healing, from whatever little I know of it, deals with energetic blockages in our system.
Right. Right.
And clearing and batch remedies do the same thing. They
Hmm.
also create energetic, clear the energetic blocks in your system and
Right.
flood you with positive vibes. So
Right.
you are ready to receive the abundance in the universe.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
See, each
Yeah.
soul has a journey. Each soul has a journey.
Hmm.
And when you go off track, Batch
Right.
remedies bring you back to your soul path and the lessons that you have to learn in this lifetime. So it
Right.
will beautifully complement batch, or I mean any other modality. We've tried it with access bars, we've tried it with Reiki, we've tried it with
Okay.
crystals,
Okay.
we've
Okay.
tried it. I mean, obviously now that I mean, personally, I've experienced it with pranic. Also, it gives beautiful results.
Beautiful results. Great. Nice. Awesome.
The only thing that a therapist needs to remember is to protect your own energy. So remember to
Right.
cut your cords, because we
Right.
as healers are very porous, we
Right.
tend to take on other people's ailments and stuff like that. So it
Absolutely.
causes us trouble. And then we run to a pranic healer for all the pain that we have.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
That is what?
so actually, when I told my friends about Bachelor, they were quite, they just actually, they see, usually what happens is when we arrange these sessions, there are some questions that we ask the audience. We ask our
Hmm.
patients and some questions which we put on social media, and then they send us that, can you, ask these questions to the person. So let me just quickly check if we have covered most of it. I think we have
Yes.
covered most of it, but yes. So I believe that, say, if anyone is interested in attending a workshop for
Hmm.
Bachelor, do you have? I believe yes. I learned from you only. So can
Yes.
you just tell me the dates for them sometime?
Yeah, there is a workshop planned on the 4 Saturdays of June from
Okay.
3 to 6 in the afternoon.
Right.
That is one. But it is also possible that if somebody doesn't want to, completely do the whole course, and you have a set of 5, 6 people who just need a basic 2 or 3 hour introductory session, we
Okay.
can arrange for something like that also.
Right.
It's possible.
Great. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so maybe 2, 3 hours, maybe one Saturday, or maybe, one day in the week when everybody can gather together.
Right.
We can do a basic introduction of what it is about and introduce them to the remedies and
Great.
just give them a fair enough idea. But if one wants to get into healing oneself or
Right.
healing others, the full
Right.
fledged course would be necessary, because
Right.
there are a lot of layers that are there to each remedy and each healing modality. But
Right.
just an introductory session, maybe a little longer than what we are having right now,
Right.
I'd be
Right.
happy to do that for your people if they are there.
Right.
We can do it for a nominal fee. We can have a 3 hours slotted on maybe a Sunday or something
Right.
in the month
Okay.
of June.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
can have a 2 hour session where we can talk about the remedies, and
Great.
we can introduce them to the modality, and then they can decide if they want to go ahead and it
R-
really resonates with them and if they want to
Absolutely.
learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. I
Yeah,
think, I mean, I had a wonderful time arranging this
same here.
session with
Wonderful.
you. Yeah. So if you have some queries or if you have some inquiries, I'll get back to you, Shruti. And
Definitely. Please
thank
do.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
For,
It's been
yeah.
wonderful.
Yes. Yes. Hope we have some conduct some more sessions together. And
Definitely.
yes. Okay. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Shruti.
my pleasure.
Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much.
Yes.
Thanks, dear.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye.
Bye.